All right, in this video, it's going to be a bonus video. We're going to talk about how we can put a camera here to allow us to be able to see things a little bit easier versus trying to do it in this space. So what we want to do is we want to get our orientation back into where it is. Again, this is part 4. You can watch parts 1 through 3, and that will get you to this point. So what we're going to do is we're going to, once we've oriented the sun and everything back to our default December 21st, we're just going to go add a camera. And so this camera is going to be right in the center, and we're going to change to this grabber over here. And we're just going to kind of position this over our equatorial dial. So we want to keep hitting shift and mouse clicking, or center mouse clicking, to keep our orientation on the X plane and not doing it like this. Okay, so we want to make sure we're on that X plane. So if you need to realign your camera, you can do that, or your world view, and do that, and then zoom in. Hold the shift down to realign and then zoom in. So we want to get this camera somewhere around this position. So the easiest way to do that, now we can get back out and we can kind of see it from the side view to help out. But what we want to do with our camera position, we want to go to our rotation. And let's move our, I think it's our Z to 180 degrees. Whoops, or maybe to 0 degrees. All right, yes, 0 degrees. So X on 90, Z on 0 orientates our camera to this position. Now what we can do is go to there, and instead of doing a grab, we want to do a turn. And we can now take the white and turn it down and point it at that. And we're going to have to go back to our move view, and then kind of move it out like so. Now to check your camera, you have to go 0 on the num key over here. You select that, and you can go to the camera mode. So if you like where the camera's at, you can leave it there. But this is switching your cameras out. Now you have to make sure your mouse is in this area. So if you're clicking and nothing's happening, move your mouse into this space and then hit your 0. So we think we got a good camera position here. Now we can scroll in and out just like we did on the other one. But as soon as we start doing this and dragging and going around, we get out of the camera view. So you got to be careful. You can only zoom in and out. You can only shift and middle click in the camera motion, right? As soon as you do that, it comes out of camera. So now that we've got the camera where we think it needs to be, we need to parent it so it will turn with the rotation. So we make sure that's selected. We shift and then left click. Make sure that's selected. Now they're both selected. Now we're going to right click, and we're going to parent to object again. And so what that's going to do is that's going to move our position, or move our objects together. What's great about this now is that when I go into the camera view, I can move the globe and I can see what's happening with the shadows. Okay, so I don't have to try to do it from an outward view and stop and all that stuff. So let's get the globe to the 270 position. So we're at the fall equinox. And so what we're going to do is we're going to just kind of look at this, and we're going to kind of put this at sunrise. Okay, we can go into our camera view, zoom in here. We're going to watch the shadow. So as we move, we're going to get a westerly shadow, a straight westerly shadow. And then as we move across, the dial becomes useless. On the equinoxes, the dial can't work because the sun is casting directly on this face, this edge, and it's not above enough to cast a shadow downward, or it's not down far enough to cast a shadow upward. So we don't get a working dial. But we do notice that the shadow comes from 270 due west, so we know that the sun is rising at 90 east. And then as it goes across the sky, it gets to its max elevation, whatever the elevation angle this is set to from your location. And then as it starts to go in this direction, it will cast a 90 degrees east shadow at sunset. So this right here, straight west to east shadow, only works on a globe. It will not do this on a flat Earth with a sun orbiting above it in a circle. So this is just a very simple way to do this. So if you wanted to test different parts of the year, you could. So if we wanted to go back to December 21st and see what the equatorial sundial is predicted doing, we could go look at it. So if whatever day you're on, you can actually put this outside and watch it and see if the globe model does make this prediction as well. So we can go to, we can switch to June 21st and see what the dial would do. See, the dial works June 21st because the sun is above that 55-degree angle at the 35th latitude, and it works. But it doesn't work once the sun starts dropping its max elevation below 55 degrees. It doesn't work on the top part, and you have to have it. You have to have a double equatorial dial or an equatorial dial with two faces to be able to have it to work all 365 days in the year. But yes, but you can also, if you wanted to move your camera, if you reset everything back to 0, you could move your camera to below the dial if you wanted to. So if you wanted to see what it did, you can just take your camera and just kind of get it a little bit lower and then point it up underneath, right? Let's get it a little bit lower. Go up underneath, point up underneath it. Now when you turned it on December 21st, you can see that it actually works at 15 degrees per hour on the bottom part of the dial. And again, this only works on a globe. So there you have it. There's an easy way to set up your camera so you can take better observations for your observation tests of the globe model. You guys take care. Have a great day.